The International Baccalaureate Diploma, IB Diploma, is a two-year high school program. Students can apply to universities worldwide with their IB diploma score. The diploma score's calculation normally depends partly on assignments and largely on the year-end exams, which IB students worldwide take simultaneously. However, in 2020, IB canceled the year-end exams due to the pandemic and switched instead to an algorithm. The algorithm considered a student's assignment scores, predicted grades by their teachers for the courses, and historical IB results from their school to calculate a student's IB diploma score. This came as a shock to students, parents, and teachers because many students received lower scores than they anticipated, and their future plans were jeopardized. The algorithm is set to disadvantage students from historically low-performing schools. More than 15,000 students, parents, and teachers signed a petition for IB to make their algorithm fairer. But IB Foundation rejected to answer questions about its systems, whose inner workings was not shared, and encouraged displeased students to appeal their scores, which costs a price. This raises the question of artificial intelligence-driven decision-making in education, which, as seen, has the potential to jeopardize young people's future. It also leads to the question of how to design an algorithmic system for this real-life case with acceptable bias. And on a more general level, how can these algorithms be designed fairly? For the first question, I would propose using the predicted grades given by a teacher to determine the IB score of a student. However, since a teacher's predicted grade may be apt to bias depending on their relationship with the student, I would propose collecting data from previous years about the predicted grade a teacher gave to a certain student and how that certain student actually performed at the year-end exams. The algorithm can work on this data and may decide to modify by adding or subtracting points, or not change the predicted grade the teacher designated for the student. For the second question, I would recommend an ethically aligned framework. That is, a framework that strives to bring some overarching ethical principles into practice. Transparency is vital to these kinds of systems to decide whether the algorithm used is actually fair or not. It should be a requirement for such applications to disclose how the algorithm was designed and tested, the inner workings of it. Transparency also relates to my second point that these applications should be accountable. When the inner workings of the algorithms are fully disclosed, people will know whether these applications are actually fair as they claimed to be, and if not, people know who to hold responsible and will take action on more solid grounds. There will be then greater pressure on the relevant institutions to alleviate the problem they caused. As we covered in the summer school, if citizens don't move, the institutions do not either. Appealing for the results of these kinds of applications should also be free of charge to facilitate people's action. Having a transparent application is not enough by itself. The decision-making model and its results should also be presented in a way that every stakeholder, from teachers to parents, can understand. This is important to make the accountability aspect work. Education experts and AI experts could work together to establish the bridge between a complex and accurate model and explainable results.